Hey folks, hi, good afternoon. Milton, New York, a 2.1 magnitude. You remember when I said that, you remember that word cratonic thinning? I think this is the third video I'm bringing this up in. I talk about it 2 videos ago. I did a video on it and I explained what's going to happen when this thing called cratonic thinning start to get even worse on the North American continent. Now, I know I'm repeating myself in this video because I talked about this 2 days ago and I told people what was coming. And I said, listen, places like New Jersey, New York, Vermont, Ottawa, Montreal, these places on the eastern part of the North American continent is going to see some seismic activity. And voila, New York, Milton, New York, 2.1 magnitude. Milton, New York is basically not far from Vermont. It's not really far from Vermont. It's not really far from Massachusetts. It's more upstate New York, close to the Canadian border. It's not that far. I'm not saying it's exactly at the Canadian border, but it's more closer to the Canadian border than New York City. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So it's upstate New York. Again, guys, places like these locations are going to see a continuous sequence of seismic activity moving forward in the future due to the fact that we're having cratonic thinning. The North American continent consists of 6 craton. 6 craton pushed together millions of years ago, and it created a huge continent. This is how we have the the North American continent. Now, the Atlantic Ridge, which is basically east of the North American continent, out in the Atlantic Ocean, basically between Africa and the North American continent. It's tugging away at the eastern part of the North American continent, which are places like New York, Ottawa, Canada, Montreal, Canada, New Jersey. You'll see places like Ohio, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. These places are going to see a consistency of seismic activity. I sound like I'm beating a horse, but I'm repeating myself. Wow. Sorry about that. I'm repeating myself. But I just want you guys to get this, right? So you understand why this thing keep happening and it's not going to stop. Yes, New York, these areas are going to be an area where consistency of seismic activity will keep happening. New Jersey, Montreal, Ottawa, South Carolina, Northern Georgia. It's not going to stop. Actually, it's just going to get worse. Once again, New York got hit. New Jersey, I said quakes were coming. Quakes are coming. I want you guys to get ready. Vermont, Ottawa, Montreal, Canada, South Carolina, Georgia. Quakes are coming. This is the beginning of what's actually coming. Because the Eastern Craton is tugging away. It's basically ripping apart from the North American continent. It's the best way I can explain it the best way I can explain it so a 5-year-old can understand what I'm trying to say. Rather than saying cratonic thinning. Okay? So, it is what it is. It is our reality. We have to accept it and adjust to what's ahead. There were some big quakes in Japan. Huge quakes in Japan. Huge quakes in Fiji, Vanuatu area, and also Tonga. This is where I'm seeing some big quakes, and also southern part of Alaska. All right. Now, The Caribbean did see some seismic activity. They weren't that bad, but where I'm seeing some seismic activity happening now in the Caribbean is around the British Virgin Islands. North of the British Virgin Islands, out in the water. Okay? But I'm keeping my eyes on the eastern part of the North American continent and also the New Madrid. Another location is getting a swarm of quake is in Nevada, guys. Nevada is seeing a swarm of earthquake. And when I said a swarm, I mean a swarm. Valmy, Nevada. I did a research on this area. It's a basin shaped area, and basically what's happening there, the ground is actually ripping apart. I did that research maybe it's a month and a half ago. It started. Same thing happened. I dug further and I realized that that section of Nevada is actually having ground cracks. The ground is cracking and it's basically ripping apart. It's shaped like a basin basically, where all those quakes are happening. And there's no stopping those quakes. It's just going to continue because the crack in the ground is just basically extending. It's just getting bigger. Okay. So again, my friends over there in New York, buckle up. New Jersey, buckle up. Over there in Canada, Ottawa, and Montreal, buckle up. Seismic activity are coming. This is our new future. And the good thing about it, we can't stop it. Once we know this, we just have to adjust ourselves, adjust the way we live, take the proper precaution to know when there is an earthquake and the stuff that we need to do. And that is the best way to approach this thing. Because the waves, the storm is already here. We can't turn it back. We have to learn to ride the waves. This is the only way humanity, we can actually survive this reset of the cycle, moving into the new cycle. There is no other way. All right. So again, I'm here to inform, and that is the only purpose of doing these videos. Not here to spread fear, folks. Knowing is half the battle, and I'm just doing my job. God bless y'all. Keep enjoying your weekend, and I appreciate you.